We usually picture success as like crossing a finish line to a roaring crowd, just confetti falling, deafening cheers, and massive public validation.
Yeah, it's that classic victory lap that we're all sort of conditioned to chase.
Right, but what if the sound of actually making it isn't a roar at all? What if it's literally just a room full of people muttering under their breath?
It's a much darker image, but yeah, it happens.
So today's deep dive is all about that exact shift. We are looking solely at the lyrics to the song Whispering by Clever.
And it is just a stark look at the psychology of success, the jealousy and the isolation that comes with it.
Exactly. And if you've ever achieved something big and suddenly noticed your peers acting, I don't know, a little differently toward you,
Yeah.
you are experiencing exactly what we're going to break down today.
Because the lyrics set up this really fascinating paradox right out of the gate. Clever notes that the ream started whispering, and that's how you know you made it.
Right. So success immediately breeds rumors.
Yeah. But simultaneously, he points out that the critics go quiet when the proof is on the table and the money got stacked.
I really love the courtroom analogy there. Like the lyrics say, the numbers testify, which kind of frames the money as your ultimate defense attorney.
Right, the math just speaks for itself.
But, I mean, if the proof is undeniable, like the cash is literally on the table, shouldn't that shut the critics up entirely? Like, why do they keep whispering instead of just conceding?
Well, it's because society values objective capital over subjective opinions. Like they can't argue with the math, right? So their public insults just lose all structural weight.
Oh, I see.
So the resulting quiet isn't a sign of newfound respect. It's actually a strategic retreat.
A strategic retreat, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, the undeniable proof just removes their ability to publicly doubt your competence, so it forces their jealousy into this unprovable, shadowy space of whispers.
Wow, and living in a room full of whispers. I mean, that has to take a massive psychological toll. Clever writes this incredibly striking line. He says, I bought everything but peace, and now my sleep is overpriced.
That is such a heavy lyric.
It really is. People always throw around that cliche, that money can't buy happiness, but this pushes way further. Why does success seem to actively rob you of your peace?
I think it's because it shifts your psychological state, from the hunter to the hunted. When you're grinding to achieve a goal, you're just focused and forward-looking.
Right, you have tunnel vision.
Exactly. But once you capture that success, you enter this state of hypervigilance because you suddenly have something to lose.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Your nervous system can never really fully power down. You're constantly assessing who in that whispering room is actually genuine and who is just trying to siphon off your success.
That perfectly explains his frustration with unsolicited advice then, because he talks about quitting, asking for directions from people who, quote, never left the porch.
Yeah, and how you can't follow someone's fire if they never held the torch.
Which is just such a great way to put it. It's infuriating to be critiqued by the inexperienced. But if the cost is this brutal-like, if your sleep literally becomes overpriced and your nervous system is just constantly fried, why are we all still so desperately driven to leave that porch?
Honestly, we suffer from optimism bias. We assume we'll be the exception to the rule, that we can manage all the noise without it breaking us.
We think we're stronger than the rest.
Right. But the reality of upward mobility often mirrors the hedonic treadmill. Moving up inherently alienates you from your original peer group.
Because you're not on the same level anymore.
Exactly. The new environment you fought so hard to enter suddenly demands this really rigid defensive posture just to survive it.
And you see that defensive posture in the way he treats his phone. He keeps it face down, ignores messages, and just lets people wait in line.
Yeah, the smartphone essentially becomes a physical shield.
Right, it's a literal boundary. But why rely on something so small to block out the entire world?
Well, because the phone represents the transactional nature of his new reality. Like Clever points out that fake friends, they ain't hard to buy.
And the digital world is exactly where all those transactions happen.
Exactly. It's the primary access point. So by turning the phone face down, he is physically severing that feed of artificial connections.
He's taking back his power.
Reclaiming control over his attention by deliberately shrinking his world. He basically leaves the ghosts behind and decides if it ain't about the family, never mind.
Which is a huge shift. We started with this image of walking into a room and the whole crowd whispering, this overwhelming crowded sign that you finally made it.
But the journey ends in total quiet.
Yeah, just a face-down phone and a tightly closed inner circle. You climb the mountain only to realize you have to build a fortress at the top.
It really is the ultimate irony of outgrowing your environment. The external validation he achieved forces him to completely reject external connections just to protect his sanity.
Which leaves you with this to mull over today. If the ultimate sign of success is that everyone starts whispering about you, and your only defense is to shut the world out, does achieving your biggest dreams inevitably make your world smaller?